a.m. here. For those watching in America back home, at least Central Time, it's about 7:40 p.m. Those watching East Coast, West Coast, a couple hours difference. Sorry if it's a little loud, but one of the quieter places I can find. I'll try to find a quieter spot for tomorrow. I'm on my balcony out here in Thailand, and hopefully I get more of a beach or palm tree scene tomorrow. It's kind of loud because of traffic heading off to work and so forth. We'll be reading today from 2 Corinthians chapter 11. So thank you for joining us. We'll be doing a reading from the Greek to the English and doing our normal interpretation. About 6 verses. Keep it short this morning or evening, depending on where you are. It says, Ophalon anakesthe mu micron. Micron always means little or measurement. T aphrosinis. So it's like, I wish you hearing with me are little in foolishness, but indeed that you bear with me. The word bear with me is anakesthe. Anakesthe. And anakesthe can mean a couple different things, but often means that to put up with, right? To bear with me, to have that sense of I'll do this in spite of you. So the NIV or the version says, I wish you could bear with me in a little foolishness. Do bear with me. Says, do put up with me. And it goes on verse 2. For I feel a divine jealousy for you, since I betrothed you to one husband to present you as a pure virgin to Christ. So Paul's introducing here this understanding of being wed to Jesus Christ. The church is the bride of Christ. It's a very unusual concept, particularly in religious thought. This is like, I'm handing you off to be connected in a very special way, just like marriage. It's a covenantal relationship with Christ. And he uses the term virgin, which is Parthenon, where we get the sense of that it's a space, sacred space, if you will, just like they had the Parthenon in Greece. And Hagenan means holy. So this holy Parthenon, this holy church, this very special, is pure. So that's what they're bringing in here, and to present to Christ. So beginning then in verse 3, it says, Phobomai, phobo or phobos always means fear. It says, I am afraid, demi pos. However, lest by any means to the, and it says ophis, which often is the word for snake or serpent, deceived Eve. So he's saying, just as Satan deceived Eve in the panagia, craftiness him, that he might be there, to be corrupted in the minds of you, noemata hymen apotis. So basically what he's saying here, I am afraid that as the serpent deceived Eve by his coming, your thoughts will be led astray from a sincere and pure devotion to Christ. This is a problem for all of us as believers, is we get connected to Jesus, we feel that sense of his power and his love, and then we kind of put him on the shelf. And so like, okay, I got my fire insurance, I'm going to heaven, I go to church, whatever it is, but I don't have this desire, like a man who marries his wife and wants to desire her and spend time with her and wants to be intimate with her. He's saying we need to have that kind of relationship with God. The power is this connection in a very special way to God, not just as a religion, but as a relationship. You see the difference here? So he goes on in verse 4, says, men gar ho erkomenos. If indeed for the one coming, erkomenos is of course reference, another alan Yusun or Jesus, which is Jesus, kirise hom uk kira axamen. In other words, if indeed another one coming proclaims a different kind of Jesus that we proclaim, or a pneuma hedron, a different kind of spirit that you lambanite, which you received from our teaching. He's again warning them. There's going to be others who are going to come and they're going to distort the gospel. They're going to have false teachings. So we read it again. It says, for if someone comes and proclaims another Jesus than the one we proclaim, or if you receive a different spirit from the one you received, or if you accept a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it readily enough. So he's reminding them here, this is going to happen. It happens in every church. It happens in every ministry. There are those within the ministry or those who come from outside the ministry who want to preach a false teaching, a false gospel. I call it Jesus plus. they'll come in and say, Jesus plus this way to baptize, Jesus plus this, Jesus plus that, right? Jesus plus this amount of money you need to give. And rather than allowing the Holy Spirit to work through us to give us the pluses that we need to do in our life, they lay on all these different burdens or false Jesus. He says, I reckon that's like logozomai. We've used this before, the logical thinking, gar medin historikanai, to have been inferior to those in the Hyperlian apostolon. So I reckon for nothing that those will be, basically they're saying, he's going to dissuade you. He'll say, indeed, I consider that I am not in the least inferior to these super apostles, is the way Paul describes it in the NIV. I'll look at it up in King James. Hang on a second. King James says, for suppose I was not, for if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have preached, or if he receive another spirit which we have not received, or another gospel which we have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been made thoroughly manifest among you in all things. Again, the NIV has a more, even if I'm unskilled in speaking, and I'm not so in knowledge, in every way we have made this plain to you in all things. You see what he's doing here? He's basically saying, it's not about how much you know, it's about who you know. Let me say that again. It's not about how much you know, it's about who you know. His ministry was how he said things, the Apostle Paul. It was a demonstration of the Holy Spirit. So many times we get caught in this, right? That we need to know more, or we need to do something better. But his platform to speak was given to him because Jesus chose him, right, on the road to Damascus. And so he gave a very simple, plain message of the gospel. And so he gave all of his power and authority to Jesus, and he lifted up. So you see, we don't need to have more power, but instead we have to have more prayer, right? And when we get presence of Christ, that's why he keeps pushing here to this relationship like a wedding, is what he says, the presence brings the power, right? The presence brings the authority. The presence brings a sense of connection. And that's what he's teaching them, not this, I follow this pastor, I follow this apostle, I'm a member of this denomination. Even though I'm wearing a big shirt that says International Minister of Fellowship, it's one of many ways that pastors and leaders organize to connect with one another to share the gospel. And wherever that is, as long as they teach the proper teachings of Jesus, then that organization is helping people find the bride of Christ. All right? So I just want to leave you with that thought for the day from Thailand, from 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Continue to seek the plain gospel. Continue to have that relationship as a husband would have to his wife, to want to spend time with Jesus, and continue to seek his presence. That's all for now. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care and God bless.